You got early voting numbers out that we're seeing in Georgia. As I mentioned, first day turnout nearly double what it was back in 2018. That's pretty astounding in and of itself. What does this say about what we're going to see play out in Georgia over the next couple of weeks?
That's right, Yasmin. This is record-breaking midterm turnout here in Georgia on the first day of early voting. It was, as you note, almost double of what it was in 2018 and just a few thousand votes lower than what it was in 2020, which is a presidential election year. And since then, we've seen some updated numbers come in. It is now upwards of 172,000 in terms of the early vote numbers. Now, what does this all mean? I met earlier today, sat down with a prominent Republican who's aligned with Herschel Walker, and he said that this is a real wake-up call for Republicans for the simple reason that historically we've seen early voters are predominantly Democrats. This shows what we've suspected in the data, what we've seen in the data for some time now, which is that 2022 is shaping up to be an unusual midterm year in that both parties are energized and mobilized. Usually the president's party is demobilized and the party out of power is mobilized. And this Walker advisor said it shows Republicans need to get their act together to turn out as many of their base voters as possible, who we know are predominantly election day voters. And in that Senate race, Walker, the Republican challenging Raphael Warnock, the Democrat, it still needs to win those independents, those center-right voters, those soft Republicans who are leaning in the polls toward Warnock right now. That's why he has a roughly 3 to 4 percentage point lead in the polls, whereas in the governor's race here in Georgia, we're seeing a very different dynamic. It's the Republican incumbent governor, Brian Kemp, who leads Democratic challenger Stacey Abrams in a rematch of 2018. Abrams has struggled with that same group of independents who painted the state from red to blue. And she's pulling out all the stops, trying to mobilize Democratic voters, trying to inspire the base with an aggressive agenda. Those early voting numbers look good for Democrats at this moment if history holds true and early voters continue to be predominantly Democrats. But we are looking at a very high turnout election in Georgia, which could be decisive once again, as it was in 2020 in the battle for control of the Senate, Yasmin.